Rafael, thank you very much for this interview and for you to take the time with us. So can you present yourself?
Hi, I'm Rafael Calado. I'm the Fab Lab Lisbon community manager and program manager. And I'm in the Fab Lab almost from the beginning, not exactly from the beginning, but well, almost 7 years. And we are a Fab Lab that is built somehow by the City Council, Lisbon City Council. I'm an architect.
What can you tell us about Fab Lab Lisboa?
Well, Fab Lab Lisbon is a public Fab Lab, so it's an initiative from the Lisbon City Council. It was created 7 years ago in a whole neighborhood with a lot of problems, and the idea was to somehow give access to digital prototyping and rapid prototyping tools to citizens to somehow shape that part of Lisbon and to promote entrepreneurship and all those things involved in that kind of sphere. It was the beginning of it. Well, I can tell also that Fab Lab Lisbon is open twice per week, open, free of cost to anyone who can just arrive and usually ask people to make an appointment online. But if it's a slot free of a machine, you can just drop in and ask to use the machine. If you know how to use it, it's easy. The staff for sure know you, and it's free. And if you don't, if it's the first time you come, we'll just introduce the machine to you in like 5-6 steps, easy way to start using it. And as we are a Fab Lab, it's not problematic to fail in the first attempt. So, for example, the laser cutter, you can use the laser cutter. You just tell you how to use it, the safety measures also about it. And then if you do it as we teach you, things will hopefully will work well. But if you want to use it in another way, change the parameters or whatever, if you fail, well, you can do it again, but the materials are at your own cost, so no problem at all. And the slot is time limited. So, for example, for the laser cutter, it's 2 hours, but if you go to the CNC machine, it could be up to 1 day. So you have plenty of time to test and to experiment. And we have also 1 day to make, well, projects that are more commercial related. And in that day, usually Wednesdays, you have to pay for it.
Thank you, Rafael. What are the main projects or activities that Fab Lab Lisboa promotes?
Okay, more than the open days, we are also, well, giving workshops. We make partnerships, local partnerships with, for example, associations that want to promote, for example, education of people in dangerous environments. For example, now we have like a class of people that are learning how to sew to make their own business. We have a lot of sewing machines, for example, now there. And sometimes we launch open calls, for example, for designers to start experimenting in some kind of material. For example, we made one about cork. We gather another lab like we, and well, the biggest cork corporation in Portugal, for example, and they gave them the materials, and the designers were just experimenting, making objects and making stuff for free for more than 1 month, and I think that's nice. It's a way out. It's to learn by doing, and we are not teaching them how to do it. And so we have more or less like 3 levels. The basics, so we just teach the machines how to use the machine in the open day. So it's a very brief. We make a short briefing with the customer. We also have workshops. Could be workshops, programming like Arduino and things like that, but we give workshops how to use some machines. So if you want to know to use a CNC router, we have a workshop for that. So they are usually paid, but they are affordable. We try to make them affordable. And the next level is like kind of residencies that we don't have now because of the COVID and all that, but we are aiming to do that more often. For example, we are trying to make a partnership with the faculty also to have more of that kind of residencies. So we can also apply for funds and for official residencies, not just paid by us, but by European funds and things like that. We are also a gathering point of people in the neighborhood and also in the lab community. So I myself, what I like more is to connect people. So some projects, there are many people that pass through the Fab Lab Lisbon, and if I can, I will connect him to another person. That's so 1 + 1 is 3, and that's the thing that I like most doing in the Fab Lab. And I think that's in the DNA of Fab Lab Lisbon. It's not just prototyping, it's not just education, it's also connecting. So I think that's the main point of Fab Lab Lisbon.
Choose 3 words that summarize your activity.
That's a difficult one. Well, what should I say? Well, my activity. So I said before, it's like community management, linking projects. I don't know, it's linking projects, it's 4 words now, but I think that's it.
What were or are the biggest challenges in your area of activity?
Well, in our area of activity, one is being up to date. I think it's a challenge. So we are never up to date. So I think that's nice. So the idea is to learn from the people that come to Fab Lab, also from the community. I think that's a challenge. It's a challenge that there is a challenge that I like to promote somehow, is to change the community focus. For example, community is all very focused and design. Fab Lab Lisbon is very focused, started with many students of architecture and design and engineering. And they are very focused on objects. And one idea is to change that focus. So like 3 years ago, I promoted a meeting with the science faculty, and the idea was to, well, we are always dealing with rigid structures, with inanimated things. So why not change it to bio, to things that grow? So the challenge is not just, for me, the challenge is not just, you can build almost anything, or you can make almost anything, everything, but you can grow almost anything. So the idea is, well, we are in a living world, so the idea is not just static stuff. And for me, the biggest challenge is to focus also the lab in prototyping with living matter, materials and things like that, and that are not so rigid. For me, it's the next step of the lab. And also, maybe just not that, but being able to hear, to receive inputs and then shape the next step. I think that's a challenge always, being aware what is happening around and give a step before they do it. For example, Fab Lab Lisboa is not just a lab working as a Fab Lab, but we are also related with creative hubs. And I think the part of creativity, artists, and that community is very important for us. So it's also a focus that we are trying to well, we are trying to focus on that too. So,
why do you think people should attend LALA Fab Lab Bootcamp?
okay, I think, well, first you have nice keynotes. So people that I don't know have heard about them, and I would like to be there to learn. Another focus is, I think you have the focus on learning. Fab Lab is more community focused, and the part that is the labs and the schools and connecting labs and schools and Fab Labs and schools. We didn't do that. We have many schools that are visiting us, but we don't have, I will say, time, and you can't focus on everything. But we are trying also, as I said before, to make a partnership with the science faculty. So in that way, I would like how to work, to learn good practice about doing that, mixing labs and universities. Yeah, that's, I think that's interesting for me. Another one is the, well, that buzzwords, Society 5.0 from the Japanese government. And I really, I'm focused on that also. I read it and I didn't know the name of it, but I think we are working on that too. So when we are thinking about the next step, well, that might be the next step. And just one more thing. When I think it's a challenge nowadays, it's like also a buzzword. Everybody is talking about that, about sustainability and things like that. But I think there is a lot to do about sustainability, and that is very connected with education. So if we don't focus on that level, hardly we can focus after.